Well, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here this Sunday morning. I don't know what I'll be producing a little bit later on as a Sunday message. But as I took a walk this morning, I was thinking about a certain subject. And I was wondering if I'm the only person who put a lot of time thinking about this particular subject. And so I just thought I'd put it out to you, not for you to answer me, but just for you to think. You never know. There was once a time I was walking someplace, don't recall right now. But I saw this young boy, I would say he maybe 3, 4 years old. And when I saw it, it was funny. And the reason it was funny because he looked exactly like his father. Now his father, obviously much older, but he looked like a splitting image of his father. A young boy, 3, 4 years old, looking exactly like a man that I know. And so I was telling someone about him, and they reminded me that he was with a different family, that he wasn't with the man I thought family who had, I'd seen other of his children, they looked like him, but nothing like this little boy. And so, I mean, how many of you have seen kids that you thought looked so much like another family, and maybe they were, but they were not a part of that family? Well, I don't know what this suggests. Can suggest many things. But what you couldn't deny that that person that they looked identically alike had something to do with them looking like that. My point in trying to suggest something like that on a Sunday morning, you all know what it suggests. And it suggests that there are children all over the world just like that. Parents are everywhere. They never seen, never knew. Why? Because of the kind of lifestyle humans live in different places of the world. So it happens. But wouldn't it be amazing to be able to look at an individual or to observe what an individual does and know just by that observation who that is a representation thereof? I'm saying that to say that there is one that supposedly ranks above all powers that we have ever given honor to, that is major in our existence, that says that as I want to be fulfilled and thrilled and satisfied with this life, that so does every individual else on earth. And that there are things that you can do that will cause that to happen. You know, like what causes rain to fall from the sky? What gets it back up there? You know, things happen. And that same kind of happening is required in order to be able to have that fulfillment. And that speaks only, if I may, for one, does it increase the significance, the requirements? Does it really increase based upon the number, say one or a million or 8 billion, and it's all the same? Well, wouldn't it be nice if you could look out across your city, your town, and identify a handful of people that you can say, oh, that's God. I know who that is. That's God. And just think about it. If you could do that with a city, think about the number of cities in a state. And all of those cities with multiples of five being identified as God, not by what they looked like, but by what they were doing, what role they were playing, that anybody would say, if God were here, that's exactly what God would be doing. Wow. And then just think about every state. And then think about the whole nation. Wow. That's a real, truly wow. And then you think about if it happens for one nation, the benefits thereof would be so magnificent that it would draw others, perhaps. And then think about a world where people were identified by their actions to that of God. My. They say that would be heaven, uh, but it'd be heaven here on earth. They say, as Jesus referenced, that humankind would have been able to do things greater than Jesus. You know, Jesus like turned us on to the right path. Even though he walked on water and made dead rise and all that kind of stuff, that going on that cross was something else. But it happened. And it was great. But we can do greater things. And what is more than every human being getting a chance to experience and live their dream? Don't tell me. I think God would be pretty satisfied with something like that. And even if it's not, it's a nice thing to think about. And for me, it's a much more exciting thing to do. So on this Sunday morning, if I don't get any other time to speak to you about anything else, I would like to say it would be great if the masses of us can be looked at and people say, wow, now that's God. Wouldn't you like to be a part of that? It's not going to just happen. Nobody's just going to look at you and say, that's God. No, they can do that when you might be somebody else's kid. But when it comes down to looking like God, we'll never know. But we can judge by the evidence that is produced in you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for giving this your time. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, saying goodbye for now. Yeah.